All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the product rule with some positive exponents, okay? And we're going to deal with this problem. And again, you're going to have some variation of this problem and are just going to want to know the process by which you can solve this. All right, so this is the problem that we're dealing with. First off, let's make some identifications. We can see here that we have a whole number, or excuse me, not a whole number, an integer. And then we have another integer here. We can see we have a variable v, and this variable is to the second power, and this variable is to the fifth power. We also know that parentheses mean multiplication. We also know that when I have an integer next to a variable, I know that this also means multiplication. So if I were to rewrite this, it would look like -4 times v squared times -3 times v to the fifth. Okay? So we know that this just basically became a entirely new looking problem. It's still the same, but we know that everything is multiplied together, so we just write in the multiplication signs. All right? Now, we've got this structured. What we want to do next is we want to categorize. So categorization is one of the things that the human mind is very good at doing. So we're going to categorize our integers and our variables. Okay? So when I say that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create some parentheses here. Call them buckets. Call them just containment units. It's where we're going to place things to categorize them. We still have a multiplication between the two, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the integers here and place them into this bucket here. Okay? -4 times -3. Then I'm going to take the variables, this and this, and I'm going to place them into this bucket here. So that's going to be v squared, v to the fifth, and again, multiply. What's great about this categorization is now we can individually look at these and what I'm independent of each other, and then at the end pull them back together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus my attention here as -4 times -3. Well, I know a negative times a negative is going to create a positive, and I know that 4 times 3 is going to be 12. Now, let's keep these in the bucket or inside the parentheses. We're going to keep the multiplication sign going for the time being. And let's go ahead and continue on. Now, for this right here, v squared times v to the fifth, we have a rule that we need to use. And that rule is going to be if I have the same bases, then I simply leave the base the same and add the exponents, okay? So we see here bases are the same, so I'm going to leave the base. I can see that I have an exponent and an exponent, so 5 plus 2 is 7. And that's it, okay? At this point, I'm now going to go 12 times v to the 7th power, and so that's going to pull this whole thing together, and we're going to get 12v to the 7th, okay? So that is the structure of a product rule with positive exponents. Now, we're going to do this again in a faster way rather than separating everything out, and we'll go from there. So how would you do this in a faster format? Well, let's just write out the problem again. -4 v squared times -3v to the fifth. Again, because we've talked about this already, I know that this is multiplication, this means multiplication, and this means multiplication, which means I'm just going to go -4 times -3. Negative times negative is positive. 4 times 3 is 12. The bases are v and v, so I know I leave it with v. And since the exponents are 5 and 2, I'm going to go 5 plus 2, which is 7, and there's your answer. Okay? So it doesn't matter what you get. That is the process for solving it, okay, in a quick way.